The issue came up with the observation that if you have a group of people at one day that get breast cancer or prostate cancer, doesn't matter, and you give them the gold standard and you follow them for 5 years, you see that some of them died, unfortunately. You see the X or the cross or whatever you want to imagine, and some of them did survive. And we couldn't predict ahead of time what happens to them. That happened in the pajama type treatment. We couldn't distinct the colors. Actually, if we think about color, I mean, it's a much better metaphor. There are green and blue and orange patients, but we cannot see the colors. The colors will become clear only after 5 years when it's much too late for some of them. And the idea is to guess the color, not to guess, to identify the colors ahead of time so we can give them the right treatment. And I'll bring you just one example so you'll see what it is. Breast cancer. Let's take breast cancer, which is a very common disease. Until a few years ago, we call it 1 to 9. 1 to 9 means that every woman out of 9 will develop it along its lifetime. Now it's 1 to 8. It moved down, which is a severe sign. So here you have 2 women with breast cancer, woman A on the left side and woman B. What happens when a woman feels a lump in the breast? She will go to the doctor, and what the doctor will take a biopsy. He will anesthetize the place, put a needle, take out, and the sample will go to the pathologist to see whether it's benign or malignant, and if malignant, what it is. You already can see that there is a difference here. Forget about the brown color. This tumor on the left side is like a big lump. Well, these ones are islands. So this is already a different structure. But what we did here, we used the DNA of the woman, and we thought, let's try to diagnose it a little bit better. Let's try to diagnose the reason why we cannot turn on the car a little bit better. So we took an antibody, which is a molecule that stains specifically a mutated protein. In this case, we stained the 2 tumors with an antibody that stains a mutated cancer-driving estrogen receptor. Estrogen is one of the woman's hormones, and the estrogen receptor is the receptor that takes them, and if mutated, we can stain it. You see that this tumor did not stain, and this tumor did stain. That means that this woman has a mutated estrogen receptor. Therefore, we don't need to take the breast off, and we don't need to irradiate. We have a drug that is called tamoxifen, and we can treat this woman with tamoxifen, and it will help her. Well, it's more complicated than that. I'm trying just to simplify it for you. If I shall treat this woman with tamoxifen, nothing will happen. Actually, something will happen. It will cost money, but that's not the main issue. She will lose time and die because the disease will continue to deteriorate because the treatment is like nothing. It's like bubble air, nothing. So this woman might have something else, and the something else might be a mutation in another molecule, which is called the EGF receptor. Forget about jargon. I don't want to burden you with any jargon. So this woman might have, and she should be treated with Herceptin, which is another antibody. But if I give Herceptin to the previous woman, also nothing will happen. So now we are able to stratify. A tumor in the breast is only a signal to start the process of diagnosis. So it may be progesterone receptor, it may be NF-kappa B, it can be anything. It can be 20 different reasons why this woman have cancers. And each of them needs its own treatment. So for some we have the treatment, and for some we are on the way to develop it by modeling the protein, by docking, by using computational chemistry to develop the drugs, and so on and so forth. By the way, we don't need today to screen millions of compounds. The system by artificial intelligence has improved dramatically, and we can shorten the way in a big way. But already I wanted to tell you that breast cancer, A is not breast cancer B, and B is not C, and C is not D, and each should be treated independently and individually based on the diagnosis, and the treatment should be much more efficient